Hello, everyone. This is Kelsy Elle, and I am super, super excited to announce my special guest today, Lindsay Emerling. Lindsay, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Lindsay is an absolute guru, an absolute goddess in the field of IBS and gut health. And I am just so, so excited to share her with all of you because she is so incredibly expert at finding just that root cause of a problem that so many people around the world are dealing with on a daily basis. I would love to hear from you a little bit more about how you got started and your mission and what you actually do.
Absolutely. So I actually had IBS. This is going back like a decade. And of course, having that diagnosis of IBS after having all of these GI struggles, I realized quite quickly that conventional healthcare was not going to be, that one single thing that was going to allow me to get better. This was actually during a time period where I was in school studying traditional Chinese medicine. So it was very interesting that all of this came up during that time. Um, and then I realized quickly that IBS was just this umbrella term, so it's a syndrome-based condition, and that there's just countless root causes, and there's so many different factors involved with GI health. And then I realized too that there are approximately 20 million women in the U.S. alone that are suffering from IBS. And because I personally was able to overcome this completely, so I've been free of GI issues for years, and I'm able to travel the world and eat and have more variety in my diet. I thought, wow, there's so many women that need my help because I've been able to conquer this. And so, yeah, that's really what had started my journey. With helping women overcome IBS. And there is a common misconception that you have to live with it forever or that symptom management is the only option. But the truth is that I've seen so many women overcome it and also be able to maintain their gut health and even optimize their entire health. So that's like in a nutshell how I got started. So my background is in traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture, as well as functional healthcare.
So, so awesome. And what do you find working with your clients virtually? How is that different from your private practice patients?
It's a good question. I find that I can obviously reach more people, and it's all about just these lifestyle tweaks that people need. And so, therefore, it's not like a requirement for someone to see me in person. And just being able to reach more people is so special. My in-person practice is primarily just acupuncture, which, of course, acupuncture is amazing. But to take things to that next level, I have found that using functional medicine and lifestyle coaching and health coaching has been really the predominant modalities that can help someone overcome GI conditions.
Yeah. And so are you now working with people in US and Canada, or is it around the world?
Right now, it's just been US and Canada, but I'm open to working with women from everywhere. So, yeah, as long as we have proper internet connection and I'm working with someone who I'm confident that I can really help. And of course, they have to be committed. It really has to be their priority to optimize their gut health.
Yes, yes, yes. So tell me a little bit about if anyone was watching this and saying, gosh, I'm in private practice right now, and I would love to do this, but how do you decide to make that leap? And what was it for you when you decided to expand?
Yeah, so it's really all about thinking about what sorts of health conditions and what sorts of health conditions that you can help someone virtually with. So IBS is definitely one of them. Any sort of like hormonal condition, autoimmune diseases. So these are things that require a lot of lifestyle counseling. So if you're a practitioner who can fit in sort of like one of those niches, or if you're a functional healthcare provider, it's an excellent opportunity for someone to go online virtually.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, for someone like you who is so busy at your practice, you didn't need to do this. But what does it add for you and like even for your lifestyle to be able to have this extra component?
Yeah, so I travel quite frequently. So that's definitely a huge one for me. And in my private practice, my acupuncture practice, it's not as much of like a lifestyle counseling. So it's just purely Chinese medicine. And my knowledge base and my expertise is so much wider than just that. So it was really cool to really expand on that further.
It's so fun. Yeah. Every time I see your pictures, you're just in another exotic location. And I'm like, this girl, see, I know the secret, you are working, but most people would think, does she ever work? Yes. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. So tell me a little bit about, even when you found me, what was it that you really wanted to accomplish?
Yeah, so when I found you, I was interested in having 3 to 5 clients per month on a consistent basis. And I did want to charge a higher price point and to also include things like herbs and supplements and diagnostic testing. So, what I had intended to do, and which I'm now doing, is to offer a package in which is a very high level of service that includes all of these things. So, I thought to myself, wow, I can be a sort of one stop shop and I can offer someone just incredible service in helping them achieve their outcome. But I just had to have a little bit of extra help to be able to do that. So,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. And it's so fun because every time I have, a client like you, I'm just like, this is so amazing. I feel so blessed because I know your clients are going to be so absolutely thrilled when they find you. So if I can help, you get onto a different platform or find more clients in that way, it's so exciting for me. And so, yeah, for me, you're such an absolute delight because you are so dedicated to your own patient success, and then being able to reach more people. What would you say was there anything during the program that felt hard for you?
Creating that webinar was definitely a challenge. So, as long as you have this roadmap of what to say and how to do it, it gets easier. And as you've taught me as well, it's important to kind of go back and tweak some things here and there as needed. So, yeah, I would say that component for a lot of us is a little bit challenging. And the Facebook ads is definitely a constant, thing to kind of work on. So, but once you dial it in, I mean, it just opens up your world. So, yeah. So if you're kind of thinking to yourself, oh, this is challenging to do Facebook ads, if you learn it and get some help, like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And had you tried a lot of things prior to working with me, as far as, building your business virtually?
Yes. So I had a few coaches until I found you. And I also try to do things on my own. I have friends in this space as well. So I was just like picking their brains. And there was a lot of time spent kind of doing it alone as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what would you say, as far as could you have done all of this? It's like what you've built is pretty magnificent, without a coach, without a mentor, or even like a tribe to do it with.
I don't think I would have had success. Yeah, or I would have been very, very slow. And even when it comes to learning how to sell from this heartfelt place, it's a skill that we also have to acquire. So, like your training in that alone was just priceless because I learned how to effectively have sales phone calls and all of that. So, it's really important for someone to get help for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you now feel about increasing your value? Does it feel exciting now rather than scary? And
Definitely, yeah, because I feel like I'm equipped with all the tools that I need. And if something were to happen or whatever, I don't know if like my website crashed, I thought, okay, I can deal with this. So, yeah, so it's just about like empowering yourself to be able to troubleshoot and to just have that emotional resilience that's needed. Because, yeah, this online virtual world, it definitely requires a skill set, and you have to get help to know what to do for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do. I mean, I talk to so many healers and naturopaths and doctors who are like, you know what? I'm smart. I already have a successful practice. So I think I can just kind of dabble in this and post a few things on social media and it'll all be okay. But I think you are really, you're such a shining example of someone who's done the work. You've invested quite a bit into your business and building it. And it really shows in everything that you do. So it's such a pleasure to get to watch your growth and watch you just continue to expand. And I know that anyone watching this is, definitely inspired by you as well, because it takes that commitment, which you absolutely have. And like you said, dealing with the challenges that come up as an entrepreneur. If your website crashes, how do you deal? And do you have that commitment to your business that you'll continue it? Yeah. And did you have an outline for your online course prior to our work together? You had a kind of a vision that you wanted to work with people online, but were you sure exactly what that was going to entail?
Yeah, so like the most important thing is like I knew how to solve a problem, right? And I thought, okay, like once I work with Kelsy, I'll learn more specifically about how to sort of put it all together. So yeah, I had a pretty good idea, but at the same time as well, like all of my clients receive very customized programs. So there's room for flexibility, but of course there is that foundational information that I teach and that foundational health and wellness wisdom that I will teach all of my clients. So yeah, I had a vague idea, but I had to definitely expand.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem for a lot of people is that they just get overwhelmed with how do I create this online program? And I just say, as long as you are confident in yourself and you know how to, fix someone's problem, then that's all that you really have to have.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And you do. I mean, you are an absolute expert. Anyone who's dealing with IBS, it's like you think of how long they've been dealing with it. And for so many people, it's decades. And then what that actually means for them. It's not just IBS, it's what comes along with it and all of the heartache and the social activities they didn't get to be a part of, and maybe even relationships. It can really trickle into every aspect of their lives. Maybe they wanted to take that job, which would require travel, but they're not going to do that because, they don't want to be traveling and having all of these situations. And a lot of people don't even know where to go. It's like, who can actually help me? They don't even know there's a solution. So your work is so huge by showing up in this big way for your people, and you're saying, look, I can help you, and you know exactly how to help them. And so I love the authenticity and the integrity that you also have, Lindsay, because just working with you, I really saw that level of commitment that you have towards your clients, that you will give them 1,000%, but they also have to show up. They have to, book a call with you. They actually have to commit to doing the work together. And so it's been just so exciting to see that and see you shifting lives, because it is so much more than just the condition. It's every part of their lives. So, it's not only them thanking you, but I'm sure their husbands or their, children or anyone in their lives is like, thank you for fixing this huge problem that no
Yeah.
one was talking about, because it's kind of embarrassing to talk about.
Yeah, and I've had a woman recently who said, I'm going to go out and start dating again, like she just felt confident. She said, my bowel movements are getting normal and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not bloated. So that's huge. I was just so happy for her. Yeah.
So huge. And do you think that someone could just pick up a book and read about how to solve IBS and just know how to do it?
I mean, in theory, sure, it's possible. It'll be very difficult. It might take them another 5 or 10 years. And like the thing of it is too, it's like I've spent years learning this stuff. This is, reading it in a book and trying to solve it yourself is pretty challenging, because I've been studying with gastroenterologists and other functional healthcare providers for quite some time. So, and I learn all the time. There's just so much more research coming out currently. In fact, the amount of money right now that's being poured into microbiome studies is just incredible. So, someone probably doesn't have access to all of that as well. So you want to really get hooked up with an expert who knows how to help you. Yeah.
It is really true. I mean, all of the years that you put into this, it's like, even you think about if someone performs heart surgeries every single day, he might be able to do an appendicitis removal, but is he going to be the best at it? No, like, he does heart surgeries. That's what he knows. That's what he's an expert in. And so it really will, it will solve so many problems so much quicker when someone decides to work with an expert. And that is just my opinion. It's something I really love to instill in all of my coaches too, which, you're such an example of, which is, you're the top in your field. You are that expert. And, if someone's going to read a book, that is fine. They can try to implement it, but it's all the variables that we don't think about. Oh, well, what if I'm that one person that happens to have this, this, and this? They didn't talk about that in the book. And then that's another 5 years down the drain where the problem is still not fixed. So, that's really, really incredible. I would love to share how people can get in touch with you if anyone watching this is, affected by IBS, gut issues, if you have a family member or friend is, just to be able to chat with you for a bit, and maybe you can set them up with a plan. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can have free consults being booked at speakwithlindsay.com.
Great.
So I think that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Great. I'll put the link to in, so if anyone wants to, just click on it, schedule the calls are free, right?
Yeah, they're free.
Good. So yeah, it's so valuable, and the information that you're going to gain, the clarity on actually what the problem is in the first place. Sometimes it can be really surprising. What we think is the problem is not really the problem. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with me and all of us today. I'm really, really, really blessed to have you, not only, as a client, but just such an awesome person that I get to know and work with and be with. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, Lindsay, talk to you all soon.